here on this coast in 1903, over at that locality in the cliff, was found a bone, which was the claw of a dinosaur. It was the first dinosaur recognized on this continent. It was a very long time until more were found. And why do we know this is the place it was found?
Well, because William Hamilton Ferguson was a geologist who was walking along this coast making a geological map. And because of that, he marked the spot on his map. So we can stand within 20 meters of the actual spot and be sure we're there.
And the thing that's wonderful about this place is that it keeps getting eroded, and therefore more and more things are exposed. You go up above on the cliff, too much vegetation. Otherwise, if it hadn't been for the sea, we would probably never have any dinosaurs from along this coast.
We're in a rift valley between Australia and Antarctica. We're about 110 to 120 million years ago. There is sediment coming down via rivers. On the floodplains, there are soils forming, there are coals, plants living there, huge forests. The rivers flood, they destroy the forest, incorporate all the pieces of trees here, which you see as bits of coal. They rip up the floodplains as little clay clasts, and they are high-speed flow with this parallel bedding in here. And in amongst this stuff we find fossils of the animals that lived there. We find fossils of the things that lived in the rivers, the fish, the turtles. We find lots of fossils.
Look around you, seacoast. However, it didn't used to be that way. There used to be forests here, and what gives us that clue is this piece of rock, which is actually a tree that's fallen over. Many things happened. This tree was growing at about 70 degrees south latitude when Australia was attached to Antarctica. It was growing 100 meters high. It was related to monkey puzzle trees. It was growing here. It died, it rotted, filled up with sediment, got picked up by a flood, was brought out onto this floodplain and dropped over, and that's what you're seeing here. After that, it was buried under lots and lots of sediment, went down about 1 kilometer, and basically it was faulted. Those rocks were faulted, and these two bits of the tree were moved apart. So this kind of very innocuous, very boring kind of stuff on the shore platform gives us a really good idea of what this area looked like 110 to 120 million years ago, and it definitely was not like this.
This is a typical day at the Dinosaur Dig here at Inverloch. The people behind me are volunteers, and they are taking large pieces of rock and breaking them down with hammers and chisels to small pieces of rock, and in the process hopefully finding dinosaur bones or the bones of other animals that lived in this area about 125 million years ago. Over the last 20 years we've found the remains of many different types of dinosaurs. Small plant-eating dinosaurs, small meat-eating dinosaurs, little ankylosaurs, which were the armoured dinosaurs that looked like little mini tanks that were living in this area so many millions of years ago. But along with the dinosaurs, we also have evidence of small mammals, birds, pterosaurs, fish, and turtles. And these were animals that were all living in this area at the same time.
What we do as prospectors is walk along the exposed rock of the flat rocks out there and just check the layers for bones exposed on the surface. And that's been done pretty much all along the coastline from Inverloch here, through Kilcunda and over to San Remo, then down the Otway coast past the Great Ocean Road as well. So in that process we've identified certain sites such as this and Eric the Red West down in the Otways, where the number of bones on the surface justifies further digging underneath. And it's a buzz. I get a thrill out of it. A good bone discovery makes my day. It's a bit of a treasure hunt. I think the best I've done is 14 in one day. The worst I've done is nothing in 5 days. And as they say, I suppose some days are diamonds and some days are stone.
The reason I and these people behind me are here and come every year is that it's the excitement of breaking open a rock and seeing a fossil bone inside that rock that's been trapped in there for more than 120 million years, and I am the very first person to see that bone in the whole world. And it is such a buzz, it's such an exciting thing to find. It's like finding gold, and that's why we all come back year after year and sit breaking rock hour after hour.